I think we can start. So, welcome to everyone, and thank you all for coming. My name is Giorgio Calculli. I'm in charge of training and membership relation area of ACIMIT, the Association of Italian Textile Machinery Manufacturers. I'm responsible for the organization and management of these events as well. Before starting, let me thank the Italian Trade Agency and particularly Dubai office and their desk in Karachi, Mr. Daud Pota, that I see is present now, and our friend at the National Textile University for their support and cooperation. Today we pass the halfway point of our journey, let's say. Next week we will conclude with the last two webinars on knitting and finishing technologies. Today's focus is on technologies for garment. There will be 3 company presentations involved in this field: Sei Laser, BRB Italy, and Tonello. Before giving the floor to the first speaker, let me remind you that this webinar is recorded. And secondly, anyone wishing to ask questions can post them in the chat room, and the speaker will answer at the end of today's 3 presentation. So finally, we are ready to start. The first panelist is Mr. Andrea Monti of Sei Laser. Mr. Monti is a manager and consultant with sound international experience in general management, sales and marketing, operations, property management. Mr. Monti successfully managed and improved organization and sales performance of several Italian and international industrial companies, developing global sales networks, new market areas, and new product lines. Please, Mr. Monti, you are kindly requested to take the floor.
Okay. Thank you very much indeed. And first of all, good afternoon, everybody. And it's a pleasure to be here today with all the students and friends of the great country of Pakistan. First, let me thank the organization of ACIMIT for giving us this opportunity. And as well, I would like to thank the local Pakistani academic authorities for having here this public of students and the professionals to hear our experience, our developments, and our ideas. So, first of all, a brief introduction of CI Laser. I don't know if some of you have got the chance to give a look at our website. I invite you to do it actually later. It's www.cilaser.com, and where you can find the explanations of what we do, how we do it, and quite a lot of videos and presentations that are available in the upper corners regarding the YouTube and other channels, LinkedIn and Facebook and so on, where you can pick up and see what we do. Basically, we are laser experts. We have been in the world of laser for the whole of our professional life, and we concentrated on that. We never started production of other machinery like washing machines and so on in this field, in this particular field. We have always concentrated on laser. We have 4 production units. 2 of them, the main ones, they're based in Italy. One is 7 kilometers away from where I'm sitting now. We are in the city of Bergamo. Bergamo is in northern Italy, close to Milan. And we have a second production unit, which is in Italy at the border with Austria. Then we have other 2 production units abroad. One is based in China, not far from Shanghai. It's pretty recent, pretty big, and which is mainly for the local market. And we have a fourth production unit, which is based in Brazil and covers our Latin America operations. When I say that we are laser experts, it means that we have been working with lasers since the very beginning with all possible applications. In fact, if you give a look at our website, you will see that textile is an important part of our business, but it's not the only one. Basically, we have been producing laser machines and solutions for every possible application in the market and touching all possible materials. That means ranging from paper to stone to glass to labelings to plastic and so on. Metal, of course, and textile as well. In textile, denim is one important part of our textile operations, but it's not the only one, because we produce also several different laser cutting systems for other fields of textile, including technical textiles, but again in fashion, for underwear, outerwear, sportswear, and so on. So this is just to give a picture of the company. What we are introducing today is an idea that basically we hope it will disrupt the usual supply chain of the market, of the denim world. At least this is what we have been asked by the big players who contacted us originally. Basically, I'm talking of the major companies working in the field, especially those who are involved in e-commerce. E-commerce is playing now a very important part worldwide in terms of the production and the sales of clothing, especially during this unfortunate period of COVID. When they sat down with us a couple of years ago, basically they told us, look, the usual supply chain that it's traditional in the world of denim means usually months and months of work, because from the very first idea developed by the designer, making the prototypes, then after the prototypes, launching the very first trial production for approval, and then the first collections, and then by the time you put them on the market and you produce them, it's months. And that means also a lot of material. Part of it gets wasted during this process because not approved, or it didn't work, etc., or it had to be refined. And in any case, it means stock everywhere. It doesn't matter if this stock sits in our premises or in our supplier's premises. Basically, at the end, there is stock everywhere. And part of it, at the end of the season, will have to be either sold at lower prices or destroyed or whatsoever. We all know that leftovers are often burnt by major brands. So basically, when they sat down, they said, we would like to have garments made to measure, if possible, so that could fit the single individual, and that could be delivered from scratch, from the order, within maximum 48, 72 hours to the final customer. Because our customers, they look at the garments on the internet, they like them. Maybe we could give them the chance to modify them, to change them a little bit, and then they pay with a credit card, and they are entitled to receive their goods in a short. So we don't want to have these goods already somewhere sitting in a stock. We would like to have them made immediately from scratch. From scratch, it means from fabric in this case. So our first answer was, this is impossible, okay? And personally, I've been working in the textile world since the very beginning. It's 35 years of work in this field. And I was very convinced of our no at the beginning. But then they came back second time, third time, etc. And then we began thinking out of the box, because we said, well, if these big companies are looking for this kind of results, sooner or later, somebody will do it. So let's start thinking that it is possible, and let's see what we can do in order to make it happen. And this is how we developed our matrix system. These matrix systems, the first machines have already been sold and installed, and they are running in some areas of the world, including Los Angeles in this moment. And they come exactly from this idea. These are systems that they start directly from the fabric. They absorb a design, a 2D design, which has been made by a designer who can sit on the other side of the world. And it transforms immediately that design through our own developed software into a 3D image. The interesting thing is that in our software, we have put inside exactly the instructions for the machine. So any modification that you will do on the visual of the garment in 3D or in 2D, it will be exactly what the machine is going to do at a later stage when you decide to work. Once the garment is approved, and it can be of any shape, any size, etc., the machine will immediately explode this garment automatically into the several sizes. So you don't need to go back to Photoshop or whatsoever. So you can talk immediately, almost in real time, with your customer sitting at the other side of the world and approve a garment which is going to be exactly what you see on the screen. It's not a simulation. The instructions that are given to the machine are exactly what you see on the screen. At this stage, the machine will do what? Will do the marking on the fabric of every single part of the garment. So achieving a definition result, which is absolutely beautiful, because you can get into every single detail of the garment, including those that usually are not seen when you work the traditional way, like, for instance, the internal part of the pockets. And the most interesting thing is that you can do most, if not 100%, of the job which is usually made by a laundry. So you can make the stone wash effects, you can make breaking effects on the garment, and so on. This means that basically you jump over the word of the laundry and you go directly to the garment. How? After marking the single pieces of the garment, the machine will identify them by the laser, so by putting a code and avoiding in this way to put it by hand, and it will immediately cut the single pieces. So what it ends up is that you have all the components of a garment that you just need to stitch. You have just to give it to your sewing line, and after that, just usually a normal wash, maybe a little bit of ozone if you want, and the garment is ready to be dispatched. Now, being the machine substantially a robot, the robot will do exactly what you tell the machine to do. And it means that, let's say a number, that if the machine does 1,000 garments, it means that it can't make these 1,000 garments all the same or exploded into different sizes, but it can do even 1,000 garments, one different from the other. So it means that you can make tailor-made garments if you want, because by putting in my size, your friend's size, and now there are softwares which are available on the market to pick up your own sizes, even from mobile phone for a few dollars. The machine, the production, will do exactly your size. It means that the final garment that will be dispatched to you, it will be a garment that will fit you perfectly since the beginning. And you will produce only the garments that are necessary. There is no necessity to make trials of productions or washing. There is no water consumption. There is no chemicals consumptions. The only water consumption, it will be at the end of the cycle where you wash the garment before giving it to the shops or delivering it to the final customer. And that's going to be a normal wash most of the times, like the one that you do at home. But obviously, I'm describing you something that it's a concept. But at least let us show you a short video that gives a glance, an idea of this, and then later in the questions and answers moment, we can get more into details, of course, if you wish. In any case, we are available for answering as a company to all the professionals and the students and the professors at the later stage. And if you want to write us, my email address is amonti@cilaser.com. And in any case, our website is ready to welcome you. You can also pick up all the necessary email addresses from our website. I remind you, www.cilaser.com. So let me now share my screen so that we can watch together this short video, okay, which will explain the basics of the systems.
We only have one world. Eco-sustainability is no longer a wish, it's a must. The textile and denim industries, together with the whole garment supply chain, are deeply involved. We need to go further. The next step is a new laser solution that can disrupt the old manufacturing supply chain roles of the denim world. The usual blue jeans manufacturing process involves several steps. By starting with a model design, it goes through weeks or even months of prototyping. After there's production, preparing the fabric for cutting and manufacturing, assembling the garments, and then going through many laundry and finishing steps, all of them involving a lot of water, with an extensive use of chemicals, a time-consuming process, often ending up with pollution. Imagine a brand new path, allowing to skip most of this. Imagine a fully digitalized process that begins by absorbing a normal two-dimensional garment prototype design and transforms it immediately into a 3D view of the real garment, able to transform the garment almost in real time, because what you actually see on the screen, it's exactly what the laser machine will do. Use defects, bleaching, stone wash look, breakings, all in one single laser pass, including all cutting instructions, with all pieces clearly identified, with all the sizes immediately adapted with the correct design, look, and effect size, and all done in a click. Then imagine the power of light, duly managed by masters of laser, a machine that marks all the effects and design in one single step, numbering and identifying all the pieces, even marking the label's content on denim, and then cutting immediately all the pieces that make up the garment. Now imagine a robot that picks for you all these pieces, and while the laser works on another garment, piles them up in bundles, ready to go for the stitching lines, but all of them clearly and unmistakably identified. Imagine an optimized fabric consumption, cutting shapes that were previously impossible with traditional systems, because there's no blades cutting, just an incredibly precise laser beam. Imagine a continuous flow of production, running smoothly with no interruptions, easy to master and capable of working 24/7. Imagine there's now just a simple home wash after the assembling of the garment. No water waste, no chemicals, no pollution. Works with denim, of course, but also natural and artificial fabrics, technical clothing, sportswear, even shoes and accessories. You have achieved the next step, avoiding the old traditional production process. Now imagine a new concept of time to market by placing this fantastic system close to the final customers in every country or town. No need for expensive air-conditioned rooms. A laser system that works efficiently almost everywhere, easy to install and run even in the middle of the city. A laser system that allows to design, approve, manufacture and deliver a garment within 24 hours to the final customer, even a personalized one or tailor-made. Now, stop imagining. Get ready to change the game, as this is reality. This is the next step. This is Matrix Textile.
Okay, so thank you very much for watching it. I guess I'm almost close to my 20 minutes time range for our presentation. What I would like to pin out, which is of particular interest, is what you have seen in the video, that these machines, they can really be placed everywhere. They are very stable and reliable machines that need no air conditioning or other stuff or special rooms or whatsoever. It means that you can really put them in the middle of the desert or in the middle of a city. And in fact, our very first two installations have been made in the city of Los Angeles. And the interesting point is what? Is this proximity manufacturing. By proximity manufacturing, what we mean? We mean that you have your local production that can be delivered locally in a short through any forwarding agent. It means that, for instance, in this case, in Los Angeles, they can have garments which they can say, honestly, proudly made in the United States and be delivered to their customers within the next days because they have been produced locally. Okay, thank you very much for your attention. It has really been a pleasure to meet you all. And I give back now the direction to Mr. Giorgio, thanking you, everyone. Please get in touch with us at any moment. It will be a pleasure to answer to all of you. Thank you.
Thanks to Mr. Monti. Now we have two panelists for the next company, BRB Italy. Giovanni Di Santo is the young marketing manager of BRB Italy with international market experience all over the world. Since 2017, he has been studying textile market in order to plan the yearly marketing campaign of the company, not only in Asia, but also in Europe and in the US. Marco Rossi is the sales manager of BRB Italy with 37 years of experience across the world in the textile field. He is successfully directing and managing many markets all over Asia, including Pakistan. Please, you are kindly requested to take the floor.
Thank you very much, Giorgio and ACIMIT, and a big welcome from BRB as well to this webinar. It's a pleasure for me to have this opportunity to present the company I'm working for. BRB was founded almost 60 years ago in Italy, and we are always like very happy and very proud when we have the opportunity to share our experience, our long experience, and also our business culture with all of you. So I'm going to share my screen to show you our presentation. Okay, just a second. Can you see it?
Yes.
Okay. Thank you very much. So, okay, let me just. Okay, so today I'm going to present you very briefly our history and where we will want to be in the future, and then I would like to talk to you about the market needs and trends that we have been experiencing right now in this very particular moment also in our market. And then at the end, of course, I will show you our solutions, our sustainable solutions. So as I just mentioned before, BRB was founded in 1963 in Italy, and since the beginning, the company had a very great success because the two founders created a revolutionary process in the industry. In particular, they invented an innovative single-layer cutting system that was able, back at the time already, to perform a very precise cut, reducing the waste and increasing the productivity and the space saving inside the textile, any textile companies, and all these operations at the same time. So that's why it started with a very great idea, actually. During the 70s, we started growing internationally. First in some European countries, so in Europe, close to us. And then during the 80s, we started entering also the Asian market. At the end of the 80s, actually, we entered for the first time in the Pakistani market too. And the 80s has been a decade that was very important for our company.
Non vi sentiamo.
So from underwear through t-shirts and sweatshirts, for example. And then BRB became the worldwide leader in tubular knitted fabric cutting. In fact, as I said, during the 90s, we started entering even more like Asian countries as well. After the founders retired, so approximately around in 2010, two young entrepreneurs took the ownership of the company, and constantly investing in research and development, which are very important for us, human resources as well, and overall innovation to keep improving the established products and to develop new cutting systems. In 2017, we opened our new branch in India to keep growing internationally. For us, it's a very important market. And then nowadays, we export our products to approximately 40 different countries all over the world. We have more than 3,000 active customers. We have two branches, one in India, as I just mentioned. We have one in the United States. And here in Italy, we have our headquarters. We assemble all the machines here, and also the research and development. All machines are planned here in Italy, other than built, of course, and assembled. As I slightly mentioned before, for us, our R&D investment remain constantly high to stay ahead in anticipating and meeting the requirements of the market, this quickly evolving markets actually that we are seeing, we are experiencing, especially right now in this very particular moment. And such innovation, I would say, focused mindset, for us it's very important because it stimulates our environment, our business culture here in BRB. I would say both to improve the existing products, but also to create new ideas and new concepts. So it's in our company's culture to always challenge ourselves and to constantly learn and to find solutions to the new problems. But for us, the key words are, of course, innovation, human resources, and the investment in research and development, which are very important in our field and in our market. Talking about the market, some needs, some trends that we have been experiencing nowadays. I know that all of you knows about social media and online forums and other internet resources that make the perception and the quality of every single product and the reputation very essential in every business activities. So the customer, I would say, is very sensitive about this topic, probably right now even more than before. So in this way, being able to excel is key. So in processes, products, and along the whole supply chain, it's very important, very essential to implement sustainable processes throughout all the production phases, through all the supply chain. This translates into higher efficiency and lower operating costs, which are very important. Of course, to have an efficient supply chain and to respond to the market changes, a textile company, I strongly believe in this, has always to innovate. So right now, I would like to show you what our sustainable solutions are to make up these trends and these markets that we are experiencing right now, the situations in the market that we are experiencing right now. So our first solution is a cutting machine, revolutionary cutting machine, which is the BRB AC line, which is a system that I'll show you. Here it is. That cuts tubular fabrics to produce different types of clothes. You can think about underwear, to cut skinners, t-shirts, sweaters, pants, for example, in the sectors of the underwear, the sportswear, and of course the outwear as well. So the AC line is not a simple machine, but it's a complete cutting room that includes altogether the steps that you can see on the chart. So the spreading, planning, the spreader feeding, the laying up, the transfer, for example, to the cutting area. And we are talking about thousands of cut pieces per hour. Just to give you an example, of course, depends on the model that we are talking about. But with our AC machine, we can cut from 1,200 to 4,800 t-shirts, for example. If we're talking about the t-shirts per hour, and everything with only one operator. So it's clear that you can save a lot of time and drastically reduce the costs by doing all these operations at once. So in fact, with our cutting room in only one operation, again with one person, it's possible to process the fabric spread. It's possible to prepare the model, to perform the cut, and having at the same time the counting of the cut pieces. Done, of course, automatically by our machine. So other important benefits are that thanks to our innovative technologies related to our AC line, compared to the traditional, let's say, cutting methods, we can save a lot of technical space. We have, for example, an endless nesting, since it's a continuous and infinite cut, which allow us to really reduce the fabric waste, which is, even this one, a very important aspect nowadays in every supply chain inside a textile company. So just to summarize, this is our solution for an efficient cutting room, because with our machine it's possible to control and save fabric. It's possible to obtain a high cutting quality, since the cut is performed by a press. This is I didn't mention, but the cut is performed by a press system that makes every cut very precise and the same. So it's like a stamp. Higher productivity, also this one is very important. We're talking about thousands of cut pieces per hour, with the saving of materials that allow us not to waste fabric compared to the traditional cutting methods. And then we developed recently actually, we developed a new cutting machine. It's a single layer, this one, cutting machine. It's called Crystal, and represents another efficient solutions for a cutting room. It's the first and only machine in the world that doesn't need suction to keep the material on the cutting area. But we use a special glass surface with an electrostatic bar that retains the material perfectly on the cutting area. We have a patent on this innovative glass surface. And since there is it's the only machine in the world there is a cutting machine in the world that has no suction, of course the consumptions of this system is very low. Is less than 1 kilowatt, which is the consumption of your personal computer that you are probably using right now. The cut is performed by a double blade system, and we can use a high resolution camera in order to obtain and to study the best placement possible. And again, we have a solution for a sustainable cutting room, because the system doesn't consume energy. There is no need to use, for example, paper or plastic. There is no particular maintenance, so it's a machine for very low operating costs, which are very, very important to be competitive nowadays in all business activities, but especially, as we said before, inside the supply chain of a garment factory. This is essential right now to be in business and to be ahead of your competition and your competitors. So I would like to thank you all again for your attention. Many thanks to ACIMIT for this great opportunity. I would like to say personally that it's been an honor for me to present BRB and our latest technologies to you. I strongly believe that you represent the future of this market and of this world. So for me, it's been an honor to present our solutions, and of course, for any questions, for any information that you will need, you can get in touch with us at any time, or with our Pakistani representatives as well. On our website that you can see, www.brb.com. You can get even more details about our solutions and what we do and the way we work. So thank you again to all of you.
Parla Marco Rossi?
No, we are good actually.
Ok. Non ho capito se parla Rossi o no.
No, siamo a posto.
Ah, ok, allora dovete uscire dalla condivisione dello schermo.
Ah, sì.
Ok. We are ready for the last company presentation. His speaker is Mr. Dennis Chiarello. Dennis Chiarello is the area sales manager for Far East Market at Tonello. Sorry. Okay. He praises an extensive international sales and business experience, as well as 20 years present in the textile field through Bangladesh, India, and Middle East. Mr. Chiarello is kindly requested to take the floor. Please.
Thank you very much. Thank you to ACIMIT for this opportunity. Thank you for the National Textile University, that is our, I can say, partner, since all our machine is displayed over there and we are getting a great collaboration. I prepare a very short presentation speaking to the students. I want to speak to the student today because I think it's very important to pass some message in these particular moments where the world situation is, I can say, crazy. So we need a lot of positive contamination. And I think the young generation is the one that can pass this message. Our motto is love, people, and courage, and it is what we need in this particular moment of life. So let me introduce a little bit our company very fast. Tonello is 40 years old company, and in all those years is based in Venice, in Italy, is in a beautiful place close to Venice. In all this year, we were very focused on innovation. You can see here the history during those years when we started in the 1975 with the first dye machine, but then we passed very fast to washing and to technology, because in the 1989 we developed the robots, and in the 1995 the first laser machine, and then all the system, jet system, batik, also to reduce the liquoration. We were very focused on what now, from the marketing point of view, most of the time we call green technology, because now everybody has to speak about green. But here, when we were discussing about those points, we were in the 2000, and we were, I think, one of the first companies we were focusing on reducing water and consumption. So we were working more than in the machine, we were working in the process. The place where I'm sitting now, that you can see on my back, is our R&D department that is full of machineries where we are developing process. So today I want to discuss with you what can be the future process of denim in the Pakistan market. That would be 99% the future hub of denim industries all over the world. From the technology point of view, from the expertise point of view, from background point of view, because your history is about fabric, it's about spinning, and now it's about garments. So let's introduce very fast what was the finishing of a pair of jeans, the old way to treat of pair of jeans. That is old for us, but today is still doing like this. So when we do a pair of jeans, we do manual scratching to get some used look, the PP spray. Then we go inside the washing machine where we do stone wash, bleaching with aggressive chemicals that is not good for the environment. Then we do the rinsing, the final softening. At the end, to make a good pair of jeans, most of the companies are using till today 80 to 150 liter. Some good company now is going to 40 to 50 liters, but still the quantity of water, if you are considering that there are people in the world that don't have water to drink, we are using for to wash a pair of jeans to create a fashion effect, it's huge, it's very big. So what we were thinking in the last 10 years, I think we are working on this project to create a sustainable process. Sustainable process, it means this sustainable for everybody, not only for the garments, for the environments, for the people working on the machinery, and also for the people wearing the garments. And it needs to keep some work for you in the future to be in the laundry, because if we do everything fully automated, there will be nobody working inside this field. So for the human, maybe cannot be a good solution. So the first step is to modify, to change the manual scraping. It is not always possible with the laser. Okay, laser can give a very natural look. We developed one nice machine last year, and we launched in the market in December this new laser technology where you can try to imitate the laser look combined with the traditional scraping. Most of the people after laser, they give a small touch of manual brushing to get a very natural look. Then this is our laser new series of laser, as I told you, launched last year. That is very nice in all the aspects, from the looking point of view, also from the quality point of view, from the speed point of view. Then we enter in the washing machine. So we combine a washing machine with different type of new technology to be able to develop directly from the washing machine all type of necessary effect that you need to create a nice pair of jeans. In the market today, there are different range of jeans, but even the cheaper one, they are going into fashion. Nobody wants a basic pair of jeans, they want a fashion pair of jeans. We are trying to combine all the process in one machine. So after the laser, you enter in this machine that has a combination of different process. And this is very important to understand, because in this machine, we have a system to reduce the liquoration that we call up system. Then we have a nebulizing system that is nebulizing the chemicals, so it's reducing drastically the quantity of chemicals, and even is spraying the dangerous chemicals safely inside a closed environment. And then we have the no stone plates, that is substituting the stone from the washing machine and giving the similar effect, not exactly the same, but very similar look as a stone wash. And then we have the Eco-Free 2, that is a machine that working with ozone, it can do a double effect. One is to bleach the garments, and second, to clean the water. So instead to drain the water, this water will pass through a different vessel, and inside we are injecting the ozone that is cleaning the water that is coming back to the machine to finish the process. For instance, instead to drain the water now 10 to 15 times, you can drain the water only 3 to 4 times. So it will be a big saving. So at the end of the process, there is only one way to see if we are really doing a green process. And the only way is measuring, because everybody is giving different number, different figure, but at the end, the only real way is measuring. That's why we develop this software connect to the washing machine, laser machine, that is giving in real time from the machine automatically the consumption of water, energy, and steam. And this is very important, because only in that way everybody is able to justify and to give a confirmation to their real consumption. And this is data are coming automatically, so no manual touch is possible. The input is coming directly from the washing machine and from the laser. So if you see these type of garments doing in the transparent, we can say in the innovative way, is using only 11 liters of water with a very low consumption of energy and steam. So whatever was impossible a few years ago, now with the new technology is possible, is real, is achievable. And this is one responsible innovation, a real responsible innovation. The latest things using ozone is what we call bleach. This is another process that we are going to add, is a patented process that we are going to add to this responsible process because it's giving the bleach look without using dangerous chemicals, only using the what we call all-in-one system, so our washing machine with different optional, creating this type of look that, as you can see from the contrast, maybe many of you are not expert about what the ozone effect is coming, but trust me, it's really flat. In this case, the ozone looks is amazing with all this contrast, very, very nice contrast. This is all without chemicals. And is a process that we are very proud to put in the market. And I think we are going also to improve the machine you have in the National Textile University with this latest device that will be very interesting to make new developments. In terms of sustainability, we are working also in another direction, that is wake. Wake is a system to dye, to use natural dye coming from plants and vegetable waste inside the washing machine to dye the garments with natural colors. It is very interesting. There are already some buyers making collection with this type of colors that is coming from the waste of vegetables or plants. That I think is, we can say that is the most greener way to use the colors to dye the garments. Just few examples for you of some shops and R&D in Europe that where Tonello is collaborating to create these different environments. There are some shop in La AA. There is some R&D department from smaller customer. This is a small interesting machine that is G1 Lab. It's exactly the same as the production machine, but you can load only 50 grams inside and create a nice look. So this is what we consider positive contamination, and you are the one that has to go around the world to contaminate positively with the green innovation. I think if there is some question, I will be willing to listen.
Okay. Thanks to all our panelists. I think it's time for questions. I will ask our Pakistani host, Miss Akswa Imran, if she has collected any question for our panelists. Miss Imran, can you hear me? In case she can't, I will take care of it.
Hello.
Okay. Hello.
Thank you very much for sharing such valuable information with our attendees.
Okay.
And we hope that you will keep us updated with latest developments with respect to the technological advancements. Our students are a little bit aware of these all the technologies, but definitely it will have to learn advancements in apparel manufacturing and to know about sustainability factors in business, which is getting extremely important from cost and compliance point of view with this passage of time. We have few questions. The first question is how SEI can help to reduce the manufacturing cost in real terms, reducing the times being taken based on return of investment calculation.
Hey, yes, thank you. I saw that that question in the panel of the chat. Well, the manufacturing cost reduction by using our matrix systems in their own environment, it's enormous. Just think of the fact that you are skipping most, if not totally, of the laundry. So it means that you are skipping months of work, and that you are skipping also all the starting point, which is the prototypes and the sizing of the prototypes, because all the models will be made correctly immediately. You skip almost, if not totally, all the trial parts of the production, because the production will be correct from a quality point of view and from a sizes point of view since the very beginning. Think that you avoid the leftovers at the end of the system. Only these savings, they justify absolutely, completely an investment like that, which in any case is not a huge investment. And another point is that these machines, they can work 24/7. So, and they need just a couple of operators to run them. So basically you can establish a production very easily. And if you do, like our actual customers are doing, if you do put machines close to the sewing and stitching lines, you go immediately in production without avoiding any dead time. So it means that also the concept of the usual flow of production is completely different, and it's absolutely much more reliable. On top of that, there is another point which is extremely important. It's the point of the markup for the garments. Now, let's assume, let's make an example in the United States. If you make a garment which is made in the USA, most probably, surely, you can ask for a higher markup, for a higher price compared to a garment that has been imported, I don't know, from China, for instance, because you can say, really, it has been made totally here. And another point is that our system allows only also the fitting of special sizes. It means that you can make a garment which is tailor-made to the person that is going to buy the final garment. Now, just to give you a figure, I mean, the major brand in the world of blue jeans, I will not say the name, but we all know them. They do have, this is an example, their own production line for tailor-made garments. These garments are made by hand, and usually they are made for VIPs who can afford them, because they cost something like $800 or even more each. Now here you can have a tailor-made garment with the same cost of an industrial-made garment. So it means that you can mark up your garment, and you can have immediately a return on your investment. Another interesting point is that let's assume that you have your products showed on the internet, that you put a selection of garments which have been done with the metrics. You can give options to your final customers to personalize them. Again, an example. Let's say that next week is going to be my girlfriend's birthday, and I want to make a special gift to be remembered. In this case, it's going to be a pair of blue jeans which will fit her perfectly. So let's say I have her sizes, I just input them in the order and send the order, and then she will get that. But more than that, I could add, for instance, something special. I could write or ask to write, I don't know, on the pocket
No,
of the garment, I love you, Maria, or whatsoever. So again, a total personalization of the garment for which you can obviously ask for a markup for an extra price. The calculations that have been done, not by us, but by our customers who bought these first systems, is that they pay off their investment in few months.
Thank you so much. Another question is from Giovanna De Santo. The question is from the presentation, the slide number 9. Please make the difference between single ply and multi-ply. How is it beneficial?
Yeah, thank you for the question. Can you hear me? Yeah. So
yes, we can.
Okay, thanks. So for the multi-layer machine, which is the AC line that we are talking about, we are talking about a die cutting machine, which is a single die for single pattern that you don't need to use plastic and paper. And again, you do all the operations that you usually do in a cutting room with only one machine. That's why we like to call it as a cutting room, and with only one operator. For the single layer, which is the crystal machine, actually, even in this case, we don't need to use paper or plastic, but we perform we use no suction, so there is no energy consumption basically. But we use an electrostatic bar that helps that retains the fabric on the glass surface, on this special glass surface. This electrostatic bar doesn't use energy basically, because we are talking about a static reaction. So there is no energy consumptions. The cut is performed by a double blade system that separates the material without ruining the fabric or the material that we are using. And there is the camera to make the best placement possible. So in this case, you don't need to use like the paper anymore, the plastic anymore, in order to mark your model. So this is another reason why we have a drastically reduction on the consumptions, and we go green basically in this way. I hope I replied to the questions, but anytime I can give more details without any problem. Thank you.
One more question. What is the cost-benefit analysis compared to modern machine solutions?
Sorry, I didn't hear the question.
What is the cost-benefit analysis compared to modern automatic cutting room solutions? And he's asking, can you please share video demo of your product systems being used for the knit products cutting?
Yeah, sure. So yeah, I shared on the chat room the first link for the AC line. So we are talking about the multi-layer, the tubular knit fabric video. Of course, I will share also the crystal one. So for the single layer machine. Where if we talk about the cost analysis, I would need a little bit more like information or parameters to compare. But if we are thinking about a traditional cutting methods, for example, with only this is a machine, also this one that can work 24 hours 7 with only one operator, and it can perform all operations that you usually do in every cutting room, from the spreading, prepare the model, performing the cut, counting the pieces. And so, of course, the cost is beneficial because you do everything at once. In addition, you can think about the high productivity. I mean, if you think that with the AC line you can cut from 1,000, let's talk about t-shirts, for example, from 1,200 to 4,800, depending on the model of t-shirts cut per hour. It's it's something that with the reduced waste as well at the same time, because with the machine you can design your model in a way that you have the best efficiency possible, not to waste any fabric that you are using, and in 1 hour you have a very high production. So, and with only one operator you can use to run the machine. So in this case, of course, you have a cost benefit that is very high compared to the traditional cutting methods.
Another question is how this cutting helps to eliminate marked, unmarked fabric faults while cutting.
Yeah, so, well, for the single layer, let's say, for example, for the crystal one, the single layer, the machine is able to recognize, to automatically recognize if there is a defect on the fabric that we are using. So in that part, it will advise you, it will warn you that there is a defect. So it will avoid that part, or with the camera, when you do the placement, for example, you can spot any defect on the material, on the fabric that you are using. So with this high technology, you can see if there are some defects. While for the for the tubular one, for the tubular machine that to cut tubular fabric, actually, I know it depends on the fabric, of course, that you use. You always have some. You can always have some defects. Even in this case, they are detected by the machine, because the machine stops or warns you, or warn the operator that there is like a defect, and so you can act, and you can cut, for example, the fabric, and remove the defected part, and then keep going without any problem. And it's an operation that you can do very fast, because the machine recognizes itself.
Thank you so much. The last question is from Mr. Dennis. And the question is to explain the step number 3.
Yeah. Yes, the step number 3 is a metro system, is a measuring software connecting to the washing machine that is giving the quantity of water, energy, or steam the particular garments we are doing is consuming. So we have a real data directly out from the computer of the machine. This data can be expanded to the total laundry per style, per garment, can be used whatever we want. Because in this market now, there is the necessity to understand how is the real consumption to make one pair of jeans. So, and this, we need to work with real data, because if you input manually the data, everybody can play and can manipulate the numbers. So Metro is the solution for this type of question. That is, how many liters of water we are consuming per piece of garments. I hope it's clear.
Thank you so much. This is all the questions from our attendees.
Okay. So I think our webinar is over now. So let me thanks again all of you for coming, panelists and attendants, and see you for the last 2 webinars next weeks on, I guess, on Tuesday and Thursday on knitting and finishing. So thank you again. Bye bye.
Thanks a lot.
I see you. Hello.
Take care. See you.
Thank you very much indeed, and thank you everyone.
Thank you. Bye bye.
Bye.